Good morning, guys. So let's get started, guys. So till yesterday we discussed about all these concepts, right? So operating system, system configuration, IP address, what is public IP, private IP, right? What is host name, LAN and WAN. Did we discuss it? I think LAN and WAN we did not discuss, isn't it? So LAN stands for, you may be knowing that already, right? Most of you may be knowing it. LAN stands for local area network. WAN stands for wide area network, right? So LAN stands for local area network. Okay. And WAN stands for wide area network. And the back side. Huh? Okay. That's correct. Right. So this is enough if you know what is LAN and what is WAN, that you know, right? That is enough. Okay. See, for example, we are connected to a LAN network now. So basically, LAN actually LAN cables on device, right? So that is actually called as LAN. So if you are connecting through a cable through one network, right? So that is called as a local area network. And we call this as LAN cable. You know this, right? So have you seen this? Did you see this LAN cable? You know this one, right? This is how a LAN cable looks like, right? And this is also called as Ethernet port antam. Please remember this. Why I am explaining this is, when you check the IP address, you observe here when you open a command prompt and type the command IP configure, isn't it? It will show you some Ethernet cable, right? You see here there is something called Ethernet adapter, right? So this Ethernet means nothing but this one. This Ethernet cable means nothing but the LAN cable. Okay. Now, so the next concept is that I want to explain is ping command we discussed already. Command prompt and elevated command prompt. You all know command prompt, isn't it? Everyone knows command prompt. But what is meant by elevated command prompt? Elevated command prompt means a command prompt with admin privileges is called as elevated command prompt. See, for example, this is a normal command prompt, right? You type CMD and you open a normal command prompt. But if you want to execute some commands, some commands cannot be executed as a normal user with normal privileges. Hello. Right? So this is a normal command prompt. But what is elevated command prompt means? A command prompt with admin privileges is called as elevated command prompt. A command prompt with admin privileges. I'll share all this training content to you guys. Okay. So I'll share one Word document where you have all this training content. You focus on, following the session, right? So this is the Word document that I am going to share to you. And all these will be there. All these will be there over here. I will be sharing this, document once you pay fees and confirm your joining. Understood, guys? And then Windows Firewall. Yeah, by the way, how to get that elevated command prompt is, so this is normal command prompt we discussed, right? So when you type CMD, it will show an option like, like if you put your cursor here, it will show an option called as run as administrator, isn't it? And you need to click yes here and see here, this is an administrator command prompt. You see, it is clearly mentioned here, administrator command prompt. Now we know this is command prompt with admin privileges. So most of the commands can be executed from this administrator command prompt. Clear? And then next one is firewall. We discussed what is a firewall, Shravani? Huh? Right. So Windows Firewall provides some basic protection to your computer from hackers and malicious software, dangerous software, right? So let me show that once, okay? And see, it is clearly mentioned here, right? When you open firewall, right? If you open firewall window, it clearly mentioned here, Windows Defender Firewall can help prevent hackers or malicious software to from gaining access to your PC through the network or internet. When you are connected to internet or any network, this firewall protects your system. It will provide some protection to your system from malicious software, means any dangerous software, right? Or hackers. Your system will be protected from hackers. This firewall gives some basic protection, of course, right? So you may ask me, then what is the purpose of antivirus? Antivirus and all this. Firewall provides some basic protection. Clear, guys? So that is about firewall, right? So why are we discussing all these? Is like, in JMeter, if you want to do some testing, distributed testing, you need to disable firewall. That is why we are discussing all these basic concepts, guys. Okay. Let me show you JMeter slide. Once we complete scripting, when we want to execute a test, right, we need to disable that firewall. So you should know first what is a firewall, how to enable it or how to disable it. And this is the reason why we are discussing. Let me show you that. See, for distributed testing. So if you want to do JMeter distributed testing, first precondition is the firewall on the system should be turned off. So first you should know what is a firewall, how to turn it off or how to turn it on Windows as well as Linux also. Okay, first we will, I'll explain on Windows, and then after 1 month, like once I explain this, I'll show you how to do that on Linux as well, Linux servers as well. Okay, how to do distributed testing and how to turn on firewall, turn off the firewall on Linux OS as well, right? And then remote desktop connection, I had explained already. Yesterday, day before yesterday, we saw that how to connect to a remote desktop, right? This also you'll be using throughout your project. Okay. And then Windows shortcuts. What are those Windows shortcuts that you need to learn, right? So there are some keyboard shortcuts that you should be very well familiar with. One is Alt Tab, right? Most of you may be knowing this. Alt Tab, Windows D, Windows E, right? Windows D for desktop, right? So suppose you opened multiple programs and you want to go to desktop directly, right? You want to see the desktop, one way is you will minimize all the programs like this, and then you go to desktop. That is one way. What is the other way? You can, if you use the shortcut, right? Suppose you open all these three programs. Now, if you want to go to desktop directly, use Windows D, D for desktop. It will directly show your desktop, isn't it? So that is Windows D. And what is Windows E? E for Explorer. Okay. If you use Windows E, it will open File Explorer. So this is called as File Explorer. This window is called as File Explorer, which will show you all the directories and files on your system. Clear, guys? So this is, Windows E. And then F11 is to maximize the windows. For example, see right now we are seeing a slide, right? If I click on function F11, you see that, the window is maximized, isn't it? Right? Again, if you click on F11, again, it will revert back. Okay. So this is F11 key is to maximize the windows or minimize. Maximize or reset. I can say maximize windows or reset that. And then what is quick access? This is another important feature, quick access. See what is quick access? Let me show you that. Suppose, I am having JMeter on this folder, in this folder, which folder is this? D drive, Apache JMeter bin, right? Suppose, see, if I want to start JMeter, I need to come here. One way is I need to come here and, use this shortcut and I can launch JMeter. This is one way. Okay. This is regular way, right? I just want to wait till the JMeter window comes up. So every time I want to start JMeter, if I am following this method, I should, every time I want to start JMeter, I need to go to D drive and then Apache JMeter 5.6.3 bin folder, and then I need to use this shortcut, use this batch file to start JMeter, isn't it? This is how JMeter looks like. Okay. Now, suppose if I add this folder to quick access, okay. So where do you have that option? See, observe here, somewhere you'll have the option to add to quick access. Okay, it is already added, I think. That is why you are not, yeah, here it is. See, if you add this folder to quick access, you will see like this. Next time, if I want to launch JMeter, I'll open a file explorer and I'll directly go to that bin folder and then I will, I will start JMeter from here, right? So if you want to, if you want to access any frequently used folders, you can add them to quick access and you will see a pin symbol. You see that pin symbol, right? So suppose, I want to go to this InfluxDB folder. Okay, if I click on this, I'll directly go to that folder. Otherwise, I should go to C drive, program files, influx data, InfluxDB, and then I'll come to this folder. But otherwise, like if I add that folder to quick access, I can open File Explorer using Windows C, right? And then I can go to this folder. I can click on that quick access, that pinned folder. So this is quick access. Start using this quick access. Okay. Once we start JMeter, start using this quick access feature. And then Control C, Control X, Control V, you know that, right? I will not explain that, right? You know that already, and I am not going to explain that. And also, this is about important Windows shortcuts. Okay. And then there is one more. Suppose, I have how many tabs I open now in Chrome browser? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Isn't it? Suppose I want to go to first tab without using mouse. How can I do that? I want to go to first one. Alt, Alt, huh? Alt tab. No, Alt tab will show you all the open windows. ఏమేమి విండోస్ ఓపెన్ అయి ఉన్నాయి చూపిస్తారు. I want to go to the, in the same Chrome browser, I want to go to first tab. Okay. Control 1, I think. Control 1. Because that is first tab, right? Control 1. If I say like, I want to go to, for example, I want to go to this PPT. Okay. Which is 3, 4, 5, 6th one. So you use Control 6, right? So that is the shortcut within the browser. Okay. The reason why I'm explaining all these shortcuts is particularly those who want to keep experience. 3 years, 4 years experience పెట్టుకుని వెళ్ళినప్పుడు. If you are, using mouse for everything, then they will catch you. They'll understand that you don't have experience. Okay. So, there's, ఇంకా teammates మంచోడు కాబట్టి they'll start blackmailing you. Okay. Particularly experience పెట్టుకునే వాళ్ళకి. You should be familiar with these shortcuts. Suppose if you are doing these shortcuts and if you are fast in typing, no one will suspect you. Okay. They will hesitate to question you. They will hesitate to suspect you. వాడు భయపడతారు. ఓకే వాడు కూడా ఫేక్ పెట్టుకొచ్చారు అనుకోండి అది వేరే స్టోరీ. Right. And then host file and all I will explain it later, not required at this moment. Now port number, there is something called port number. Port number also I'll explain it later. These concepts are not required at this moment. So and Windows PowerShell, what is Windows PowerShell? So we saw command prompt and administrator command prompt still now. We saw command prompt and administrator command prompt till now. But there is something called PowerShell. Meeku, if you want to run some programs, you need to use Windows PowerShell. Okay, how to launch that? In the search box, in the Windows search box, if you type PowerShell, you get this Windows PowerShell. And it will be coming up with blue color background mostly. Okay. Let it load. Okay. So right now I'm using dark theme. That is why it is showing in, black background. But this is Windows PowerShell. You can execute any command from here. Okay. Normal command prompt low, the commands which you cannot execute in normal command prompt or admin command prompt also can be executed from here, from a PowerShell, Windows PowerShell. Okay. So, when do we use this Windows PowerShell is again, when you are using JMeter. In JMeter, right? Once we start JMeter, once we complete scripting, I'll explain you JMeter integration with InfluxDB Grafana. At that time, this PowerShell will be helpful. We need to use PowerShell at that time. Okay. So when you install this Grafana, right, you need PowerShell Windows. You need to execute some PowerShell commands. Okay. But remember that there is something called Windows PowerShell. In Windows operating system, you have something called PowerShell, from which you can execute, like all the commands, right? And additional clocks, I'll explain it later. Again, not required at this moment. I'll explain it later. And then another important thing is everyone should know, like, whether you are into any software, whether you are into development or testing, right? Anything. So you need to, you will be using Excel and Word on a daily basis, almost daily basis. Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel are required, we'll be using it on almost on a daily basis. So you need to learn Excel and Word basics, or you need to be good on Word, Microsoft Office and Word and Excel particularly, right? As your experience grows, PowerPoint presentations, even you will learn PPTs, how to make PPTs and all, as your experience grows. But for to start your career, you need Word and Excel. So learn some, Excel basics and Word basics. Okay. Anyone having, so how to learn those? How to learn those is, so if you go to Excel, if you launch Excel, launch a blank workbook, and there will be something called help in the, licensed version. See, this is not a licensed version. That is why it is not showing that. Anyone is having a licensed version, recently laptop on all. Anyone having licensed version? Check the cracked version. Huh? You are using cracked version. Okay. Anyone using genuine version of our MS Office? Santosh. Santosh. MS Office cracked version. Huh? Okay. So if you are using, genuine version, right, you will see a help. You will have an option called help here. Okay. Here, like after view, you will have some option called help. Are you seeing that? Can you share your screen? Or can you take a screenshot and post it in WhatsApp? Share your screen. Join Zoom meeting and share your screen. Please join Zoom meeting. Okay. And share your screen. I'll show that, we'll see that, guys. I'll explain that. So you should be start learning Excel and MS Word, Microsoft Word and Excel. Everyone, right? So performance testing, whether you are into manual testing or automation or, any course, you take any course, you should be good with these two, Excel and Word in the Microsoft Office suite. Okay. MS Office suite under suite. Actually, that is suite. The spelling is SUIT, isn't it? Microsoft Office. This one that is read as suite. So in this, you need to learn Word, Microsoft Word or MS Word, and Excel, MS Excel. And how to learn that, how many chapters you need to learn, I'll show that. I'll explain that. Okay. Anyone who is who joined online, do you have any, like genuine version on your system?
Yes, sir.
Can you please share your screen and open
Yes.
Excel and share your screen? And let me show, how to, where you see those lessons. Right. Sorry, guys, for recording purpose, let me quickly give a recap. So basically, like you need to learn these Excel and Word basics by next week, guys. Okay. Next week we'll have an assessment. We'll have a test, written test here. Okay. There I will be asking, like, I'll be giving some exercises on Word and Excel. Got it, guys? So you need to work on those. You need to attempt that test, and you must and should, you need to attempt that weekly test. Okay, there will be weekly written tests, and then these concepts I'll explain it later. Okay, as and when required, I will explain those FQDN, VPN, WinSCP, PuTTY. These concepts I will explain later. And we already discussed these Windows shortcuts. Please start using shortcuts. Don't use mouse like kids. Okay. So if you see any school going kids, they what could I use it mouse everything. They will use the shortcuts. They my son knows more shortcuts than me. Okay, he's studying 5th class now. He knows more shortcuts than me. Okay, so like particularly those who are keeping experience, you need to be familiar with shortcuts. And if you don't know typing also, those who want to keep experience particularly, there are a lot of you should not search for keys on the keyboard. Okay, 3 years experience, fake experience, but you got some 10 lakhs package, and if you are searching for keys on the keyboard, chala asayanga untundi. Chusavalaki. Yes or no? So they will doubt you definitely. They will catch you. They'll understand that, like particularly those who want to go with fake experience, you should practice typing. Okay. So for that, there are no typing institutes now. So I learned typing in a typing institute in my after my degree, but we don't have any typing institutes now. But you have a lot of online typing tutorials. Okay, I did my type higher. Okay, at that time, everyone used to join typing, typing institute. Kelly, we used to practice typing over there, and we used to have some exam type lower and type higher, but we don't have that now, right? So but there are a lot of online typing tutorials. So choose one of them, whatever you like. There are a lot of typing tutorials, and practice typing. Practice typing. Okay, right? These are very user friendly tools, and you can uh, take some time. Again, don't spend your time whole time on entire day on learning typing. Spend only half an hour to 1 hour. That's it, not more than that. Okay. So daily spend half an hour to 1 hour time to learn typing. You should not search for keys on the keyboard. Understood, guys? Experience పెట్టేవాళ్ళు particularly freshers అయితే ఓకే అమ్మయ్య నేను ఇది నేర్చుకోని అవసరం లేదనుకుంటాను గ్రేస్ రైట్ సో బట్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ పెట్టే వాళ్ళకి దిస్ ఈస్ like you have to learn, you have to practice typing. Okay. And then yeah, and then I'll start with software development life cycle, guys. Okay. Now what is software development life cycle? Any software application, when any software project consists of multiple phases. Okay, there will be typically 6 phases. What are those? Analysis phase, design phase, development phase, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Okay. Now below that, there are a lot of terms or terminology: product owner, project manager, business analyst, CTO, etc. I'll explain those with some examples. Okay, I'll explain that with some example, right? So suppose I am running these trainings from 2018 onwards, actually. So I'm running these online trainings from 2018. Okay. So, but we don't have a a website till last year. Till last year, we don't have a website for ourselves, right? Because I have been providing online trainings, and I was doing job till last year, isn't it? So I did not focus on this, website and all. You got it? But right, recently I thought like, I want to develop one website, right? I want to develop one website for my training institute. So now I engaged some developers, website developers, and I contacted them that I want to develop a website, right? Now what will they ask is, when I say that I want the website, I want a website, I want some, I want to develop a website for our institute. What details they will ask? They will ask, what is your requirement, right? How do you want your website to look like, isn't it? They will ask, first, how do you want your website? What all features you want for your website? Yes or no? So this is, this is the document that we prepared, guys. So obviously, I know I have to tell what is my requirement on my website, what pages I need to have, isn't it? So I said like, this is my requirement. The main pages, they should be one page for overview. There should be one page for about us, about our training institute, and one page for what are the courses we are offering, right? So we are offering multiple courses. We could in classroom you have only performance testing, but we are running one course for automation testing, right? And we have one online training for LoadRunner separately. There is one more trainer for LoadRunner, right? His name is Shyam. So he's doing, he's conducting LoadRunner training. So, and we want to include, going forward, we want to include DevOps training as well. Okay. So, like we want to show on one web page, we want to show what all courses we are offering. That is what I want. These are my requirements, guys. See, you see here website requirements, even in our kitchen requirements. And then one page should contain the testimonials. What is meant by testimonial? What is meant by testimonial? Feedback. Testimonial means feedback, students' feedback, right? And then success stories, our previous success stories, our previous student success story. So that, I need not explain all this. I need not explain all these slides to explain about our previous batch students, our previous success stories, right? So actually we are spending almost half an hour to explain all this. So if I have a website, I'll ask students to go through that website, to see our previous batch student success stories, isn't it? So then what else? Hold on. So then social media presence. See, for example, we are available on Instagram, right? This is our Instagram page, right? So this is my Insta page. Recently started, very recently started. That is why I have very less followers, guys. Now, marketing. You may be having more followers than me. We started recently, very recently. Okay, all right. So like, and I don't buy followers. Okay, I don't want to buy followers. I want genuine followers only. All right. So we are available on. We are we have our presence on Instagram and Facebook as well. We have some I am running some Facebook pages as well. Okay, let me show you that. So please follow that Facebook page also if you are interested. And if you are already using Instagram, then only follow us on Instagram, guys. Otherwise, don't open an account now. ఇప్పుడు account open చేయొద్దు. Okay, that is again a big distraction, right? Yes or no? How many of you are on Instagram already? Almost everyone, I know that everyone will have. But if someone is not using Instagram, don't open up. Don't follow them. Don't open an account, please. నాకు follower తగ్గినా పర్లేదు. Okay, but that is అది ఒక so Instagram ఒక అది ఒక వ్యసనం, అది addiction, అది you'll get addicted to it. So no, but if you are on Facebook, I am running some Facebook pages. If you are already on Facebook, so you can join us on. You can follow our Facebook page. Okay, this is my Facebook page. This is run by me, which is having 2,400 members, right? Low coding, no coding, IT career, performance testing with JMeter and LoadRunner. I'll share the link if you want to follow, right? So I want to show that, our social media presence in one page. So this is the requirement that I give, and one option to contact us, right? So right now our website is in development phase. I'll show you that. Okay. It is in very nascent stage. MGMITTraining.com. This is my website. Oh, what happened? Okay. So for some reason it is down. I need to look into it. There is one more website of us called zerocoding.in. Okay. So this is in development phase, guys. Okay. See, this is what I asked. Course offerings, testimonials, social media, contact us. See, this is how I gave the requirement. Understood, guys? And one more, feature I want to add is online test with MCQ, multiple choice questions. MCQ means multiple choice questions. Means, right now we are using, I am conducting online test already from last 5 years. But for that, I am using some platform called Urban Pro. Okay. So, there I created some online test and I am sharing it to the students, those who are joining online. But I want to add that feature to our website. So these are my requirement, my website requirements. Now, in any project, right? So suppose that assume that this website development is a project, right? And I gave it to some developers. Now, what developers will do? Developers will first ask, what is your requirement? What features you want on your website? So that is, that is called as a requirement gathering phase here. Okay. Once they collect all the requirements, they will analyze the requirements. Okay. The developers will, as not only developers, there will be some team involved in analysis, requirement analysis. Who all will be involved here? Product owner, project manager, business analyst, and CTO. Now, what is meant by product owner? Product owner means once the website is ready, I will be the owner of the website, my website. I will be owner of my website. So I am the product owner here. Understood, guys? You need to remember and understand the terminology. This is one of the common interview questions, guys. What are the stakeholders in your, who all are the stakeholders in your project? I will, I'll share that recording to you. Last week, one of our student attended an interview in Infosys. His name is Sarath. Okay. He got that question in the interview, it seems. I asked him to record the interview. Okay. And he recorded it. Right. I'll share you the recording. So this is one of the questions asked in the interview. Who all are the stakeholders in your project? Stakeholders means nothing but who all are, part of your project, right? So you have to explain what is product owner, or who is product owner, and who is, project manager, right? So suppose I want to develop a website. I don't know website development, right? I am a test engineer, performance test engineer. So I don't know how to develop a website. I will give that project to some team, right? and that team will have a manager, right? The team should be led by someone. That person is project manager. Understood, guys? So I am product owner. Once the website is ready, I am the owner of my website. And then business analyst. What is the role of business analyst? Of course, ఇది చిన్న institute కాబట్టి we don't have a business analyst. Otherwise, what business analyst? If I engage a business analyst, what will he do? అంటే మీకు ఏమేమి ఫీచర్స్ కావాలో తను చెప్తాడు బిజినెస్ అనలిస్ట్. ఎలా చెప్తాడు తను? హౌ డస్ హీ టెల్? He will go to other institutes. He will check what are the websites of other institutes looking like, right? For example, say I will show you some website. There is another web. This is our partner institute in KPHP, guys. We are going to start like classroom training in KPHP, mostly in this institute. Not yet finalized. This week it will be finalized. Okay. So this is their website, and they are in trainings from almost 20 years. Now business analyst ఏం చేస్తాడు? He will refer to other training institute websites, and he will decide like ఇంకా ఏమైనా ఫీచర్స్ కావాలా మన వెబ్సైట్ కి. He will decide that, right? That is his job. If I engage some business analyst, that would be his job. Okay. And like see, there are a lot of features here: visas, clients, business support hub, blogs, etc. Right? So now what is the role of this business analyst? He will he will study the other competitors websites, and he will say like, we want these features also, right? And like not only that, suppose you click on courses. How much time you select some course, for example, performance testing. So for example, LoadRunner, you selected LoadRunner. So how much time it is taking to load, right? He will check all those, and akkada nene iche training. Okay. So I will be mostly giving training over there from next month onwards. Yeah, నువ్వు వచ్చావు కదా అక్కడికి. Yeah, yes, the same institute, right? So last year I did some batches over there. Okay. Now, so like he will study the competitor websites or other training institute websites, and he will consolidate the requirements. He will refine the requirements. Okay. So that would be the job of business analyst. CTO means chief technical officer, right? So chief technical officer, like who they he will be part of discussions like front end em vadali, database em vadali, back end em vadali. So he will he will be involved in those discussions. Chief technical officer, right? Okay. So these are the stakeholders. You need not by heart that. Remember product owner, project manager. That's enough. And business analyst. That is enough. You need not by heart, or you understand the concept. Then you need not by heart anything. Right now, so first analysis phase is done. All the requirements are I gave all the requirements. My business analyst team gave some requirements. All these requirements are discussed, and mark em features kavali, so they are sorted out. And then we started then next phase is designing phase. Means how UI should look like. Front page ela kaniపించాలి, landing page, how the UI page should look like, and how the interface should look like, right? So all these will be decided in the designing phase, right? So there will be some architect for that. If it is a big project, you will have an architect, right? For designing the application, designing the landing page and all those. And then UX and UI designer, those will be the stakeholders, or they will be involved. What is UX and what is UI? You need to know what is UX and what is UI. So UX stands for user experience, right? UX stands for user experience, and UI stands for that user interface, right? So UI and UX and UI developers will be involved in the designing phase along with the architect. Okay. And then next starts development. Development means writing the code and developing the project or developing the pages. There your front and back end developers will be there, right? So you have a lot of front end technologies, right? React.js, and there are a lot of other technologies now. Previously, it used to be Java server pages, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Previously, the websites are developed using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But right now, you have a lot of front end technologies, right? Interactive JS, like React.js. There are, because you have what we call that Node.js, etc. Right? There are a lot of latest technologies now. So now one team will be working on developing the front end, and another team will be developing the back end, right? So that is development phase. Now, once as website is being developed, right, we need to test it. We need to test whether it is working as expected or not, isn't it? See, for example, I kept a QR code here. Suppose if you scan it, it will show you, like all our, Insta page and YouTube channel and Facebook page and all those. If you scan this QR code, so whether that is happening or not, scan just whether you are getting that or right. You can try it. Okay, and we have to test it, right? So we have to test it whether everything is working fine or not. Suppose if I click on test social media, right? So like if I click on this YouTube, let's say for example, whether it is taken to my YouTube channel or not, isn't it? Or whether if you, I think that video is getting played. This video is getting played. Okay. So in this way, we have to test the website, right? So we need to test the website. As we develop the website, we need to test the website, isn't it? So this is our another website, guys. Okay, for your information. It's still under development only. It might. Okay, there is a typo here. Sorry, guys. There is a typo here. Yeah, this is our website. Okay, this is also under development, still under development. Okay, and you have some feature here. For example, if you click on start for free, not start for free, you have a chat option here. Suppose if you drop a message here, I will receive that to my email. Right, this is one feature that I want on my website. Obviously, I want any training institute website should have this feature, isn't it? So suppose if you enter a question here, okay. So when does new batch start, or what are the current batch timings? Let's say I will post a question. What are the current batch timings? So some user posted some message like this, some query like this, right? So it is asking for email. Let me enter that email. Right? It is sending a message now, right? The website is sending the message. You can see here, it has displayed a confirmation message. Now I will get that message. You see here, new message for MGMITtraining. I got that message now. When are the current batch timings and all, right? I can reply to the conversation. So this is one feature that I want, right? All this will be decided in the requirement analysis phase. All these requirements, I'll give it in the requirement analysis phase. Based on that, developers will design the application. Understood, guys? They will pick the technologies and they will design the application. And now, once as the project or the website is being developed, right? We need to test it, right? We need to test it whether it is working fine or not. So that next comes testing phase, isn't it? And who all will be involved in the testing phase? Solution architect, QA engineer, tester, and DevOps team will be involved in this. DevOps team, tester, QA engineer. What is QA, by the way? Quality analysis or quality? Hello. Yes. Yes. Right. So in these different phases, we are not interested, or we are not going to deep dive into all the phases, but we are interested in the testing phase. So tomorrow we are going to discuss testing life cycle first. Tomorrow I am going to explain testing life cycle, and then again in the testing life cycle I will explain what is unit testing, what is integration testing, functional testing, and then we will discuss about performance testing. Then we'll take it forward. Right. So we'll be discussing on performance testing from next 2 sessions onwards. So then I will explain what is the difference between functional and non-functional testing, and then what is performance testing. We'll discuss what is performance testing all about, and what are the reasons for doing performance testing. We'll discuss it later in the coming up sessions. Okay. So with this, I'll stop it here, guys, for today. Any queries before I close today's session? No queries? Okay. All right then. So I'm closing the meeting, guys. So if you are following Instagram, then only follow us on Insta page, guys. Okay. So, but Raghu, are you using Instagram? You're already using. Okay. Are you following us? Okay. All right. So, but don't start Instagram for us. Okay, right now, not required. Not required right now. Once you complete your training, I will be sharing openings on our Instagram page. If you want to see those openings, you can follow that. Follow our Insta page. QA engineer అని ఉంటుంది. Yeah, QA engineer or software engineer అని ఉంటుంది. Software test engineer అని ఉంటుంది. Different companies follow different naming conventions. Okay. QE అంటారు కొంతమంది. In some organization, it is called as QE. Instead of QA, they call it as QE. QE means quality engineer. Okay. Quality engineering, right? That a stream is called as quality engineering, right? So some organizations follow this one, QE and. Okay, guys, I'll stop it here for today, for morning batch. Let me clear this and let me pause recording. Next batch guys are joining. So let me pause recording.